What's good, Wager World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. And here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Astaire? How are you?
Another win for the Kings. Boy, I don't even know what to do with myself with all these wins, but I'm doing good. Having a little problems with some Bitcoin right now. Everyone's talking about Twitter going to die. It looks like crypto's the one that's really dying. Maybe it's all a ruse. But I'm ready to give out some more winners today. How you doing?
Man, it's one of those mornings. Caesar's William Hill is down. And now, as you see from how our screen looks, something's wrong with with our recording mechanism where it looks like you're like headbutting the screen and I'm barely in it because I couldn't turn it. So we sorry about that, guys. I know you guys tune in more for the information. So just listen in.
All right, let's get straight to the past, present, future. The first one, hey, Mike Vrabel, you can't count the guy out. And I swear, I didn't see it myself, but once somebody tells you, you'll never unsee it. They don't miss tackles. It's the
Nope.
best tackling team I've seen in like 15 years. So Green Bay got it, or Tennessee got it done again. They continue to look good. Christian Watson's emerging there for the Packers, but it's not enough. Rodgers misses a lot of throws too. For all the talk about his weapons, he misses some wide open guys there as well. What did you see
Yeah.
last night?
Soon as the game started, the game went to three right before because it was too much gamemanship involved in betting this game, and I should have stayed my ass off of it because it went to three right before, and all of a sudden, Simmons played. If he was playing, I would have took the Titans off the jump. He was the only reason that I took the Packers was because I thought that Simmons, the All-Pro defensive tackle, who's the heart of that Tennessee's defense, was supposed to sit out. He ends up playing, and as you saw, he was a major factor in shutting down the run during that game. The Packers couldn't do anything up the middle. Then you have Aaron Rodgers driving at the end. The guy gets the first down on the pass, and they do a hurry up instead of challenging it. Mike LaFleur once again showing he's just not the guy, man. He doesn't challenge it. He doesn't call timeout. He doesn't do anything to try to get the refs to challenge the situation because it was running up on 2 minutes. They should have just let the clock run down to 2 minutes and they could have reviewed it from the booth. The guy already caught the ball past the first. They hurry up and just do a stupid shotgun dive. I hate when they do that. You need 1 yard. You got your running back starting from 10 yards deep, knowing that these people are getting low and you're going to get penetration, and these guys getting a shotgun and run a dive. Just ignorant. I just don't understand it. I regretted going against my guy Vrabel. He's 8-0 against the spread in his last 8 games. I won't do that again.
All right, let's jump into football. Yeah, that one wasn't close. SMU,
Not
a complete no-show against Tulane. What happened there? I didn't even watch it.
just a horrible Thursday, man. That was a bad handicap on my part. We should have just took the over on that game. Not much to say about it. It's just that SMU got smashed, and they're not a good defense.
All right, let's move on to the next one. My team. I like the Blazers, man, and that one looked good for most of the game. But in the end, they couldn't get it done. Give credit to the Nets, but I was definitely frustrated on that because it felt to me like a win the whole time. I felt like we were on the right side. I guess the Nets going to get a win before they go home. So another tough one for me there, dropping that Blazers pick. Did you see it?
Tough one for us. Yes, I saw it. I saw
Yeah.
when Nurkic. I thought Nurkic was going to miss the free throw first of all to not even get us there. So after we got the free throw, I'm like, okay, we're good. I just got to double team KD and get the ball out of his hands. We get the OT, we're going to win. Tip, a tip by Royce O'Neal. He gets the tip,
Yeah. He was playing
and
really well.
yeah, just a bad break on us for that. But these guys led the whole game, and see those type of games. That's why I go bigger on the first half with them. My bigger bet was the Blazers first half, because the game it gets real funny at the end. So just a bad Thursday. That's why we got to have a great weekend. Sometimes this stuff can hum us. We've been on the roll, so we'll take our lump on Thursday.
Yeah, it was a rough day as well in college basketball world. Michigan, not only did they not
Come
cover,
on, man.
yeah. What happened there? I didn't watch that one either. I looked. Someone on Twitter tweeted about it, and I said, "No way." And I looked at the score. I said, "I'm not even going to watch that one." Did you see it at all?
This is the unreliability of youth. I cannot stand these college kids. I don't know if it's because they're betting with their little homies, or if they're just having girlfriend problems. It's so many factors that going into amateur sports now, especially with this betting involved. You have Arizona State, who lost to Texas Southern University. Don't get me wrong, Texas Southern is one of the better teams in the SWAC, but they're not a world beater. Arizona State should have beat them easily. They lose to them, and then they come and allow and beat Michigan by 30 points. And it's just, I don't know, man. It was just like I say, just a horrible Thursday, man. That's all I can say. My bank account, in all my accounts, they were looking lovely all week, but they took a nice little hit yesterday, and it's okay though. Like I said, we got this whole weekend. We're still in the positive for the week, but we got this whole weekend to get back what we lost on Thursday. But that was just stupid. A no show. Kind of reminds me of the thing with Colorado. Colorado loses at my alma mater, Grambling, who's terrible at basketball, has never played basketball well in their whole uh,
Yeah, I saw that one too.
existence. Colorado loses to them the next week. They go to Tennessee, beat a top 10 team at Tennessee by 30 as 13-point dogs. And then yesterday they lose to UMass. So it's just, hey, man, it's just a lot of variance when it comes to these kids, man. But we move on.
Did you watch Coppin State? I didn't see that one either.
Sweated it. That was my biggest bet of the night. It was on the clients list. It was our 5 unit wager, and that one almost didn't go through. If that one would have lost, I might I might would have had to call in if Copper State would have lost. Man, they end up winning in overtime, 90-85. Tennessee Tech is horrible, and they let them score 85 points. Tennessee Tech hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer to get the game to overtime, which would end up working out for us because we would not have gotten the cover if he would have missed. So all's well that ends well. So we get Coppin State in at least to split the ball and parlay, and also to save a little face on Thursday.
All right, let's jump into the present. What Iowa
Iowa.
plus
Yep.
3 at Minnesota. What's going on there?
Man, this one is the
That's tomorrow though, right? I don't know why.
yes, tomorrow. No, it's okay. It's tomorrow, man. This one right here is going to be an old
Now that
school.
college basketball started, I'm not sure if you're giving me football picks or basketball picks.
Right. No, this is college football right here.
Yeah.
PJ Fleck has never beaten Kirk Ferentz, man, and his whole tenure at Minnesota. In fact, Ferentz is 9-1 in his last 10 games in Minnesota. I just really like where I was going right now. They found a spark of offense. Offense sucks, but they found a spark with this kid, Caleb Johnson, that was a freshman. I don't know why he's been on the bench, but he's been able to hit some big plays for them. Minnesota's dealing with quarterback issues. The starting quarterback, Tanner Morgan, didn't play last week, and if he does play this week, he's banged up. It's going against a really tough Iowa defense. Don't get me wrong, Minnesota plays defense too. You know how what the books got the total on this game as spread is 32.5.
I've only seen that like in a snowstorm.
You know,
I've
that's
only seen that
unbelievable.
when like there's the biggest storm in the world coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely some snow and things like that. It's outdoor stadium in Minneapolis. They moved from playing in the Metrodome years ago to going outside, and they will be in the snow. But I like Iowa in this game, man. I like Iowa plus 2.5. I like Ferentz's history, and now that Illinois lost last week, and also the line I go to Michigan, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. If Illinois loses at Michigan, one of these two teams has a chance to get to the Big Ten championship and win their side of the division. So this is a really big game. Kirk Ferentz always has his team ready, and they always play better as the year goes. I'm going with Iowa, man, plus 2.5.
All right, I'll go ahead and put that in right now. The next one on our docket for today, Illinois is plus 18, taking on Michigan. Is Harbaugh going to be able to cover that one?
I don't think so. The line's already dropped to 17.5. This isn't an official play for me yet, but what I do know is
So
that
don't
I
place
really
this because I'm placing Iowa right now.
place Iowa. Don't I would
Okay.
hold off on Illinois. I want to hear a little bit more information on that game. But honestly, I do like the Illini to keep it within the number strictly because I really like the Illini's defense. As you know, they have one of the top defenses in the country. This is going to be a really low scoring game. The weather for this game should be okay, it's going to be like 39 degrees, but both teams are going to have to run the ball because of the wind. And wind affects a football game a lot more than uh, any other condition because now it's the passing game is really going to struggle. I like Tommy DeVito. I like what he does. He struggled a little bit against Purdue, but he's a real gamer. I think he'll play his best ball against Michigan. McCarthy, the quarterback for Michigan, is he's just a guy. He's not anything special. He makes some turnovers. The thing that I don't like about him most is his completion percentage. The last game he threw only 8 out of 17 passes were completed against Nebraska, and the week before that against Rutgers, he only completed 13 or 27. So he's not completing at a high percentage. I think that Michigan is going to have a difficult time getting over this number. The total on this one is 41 and a half, and I'd probably look to the under on this game, but like I said, nothing official yet. But the more that I think about it, I think I am going to take Illinois. So we're going to go Illinois plus 18. Put it in.
All right, I'll put it in right now.
Yeah, they're 5-0 against the spread on the road, so I do like Illinois.
Washington State's going to be down in the Sun, taking on Arizona +4 down in Tucson. What are your thoughts on that one?
I'm all over Arizona on this game. This is going to be one of my bigger bets of the weekend. I'm a huge fan of Jaden Delora, but I'm also a huge fan of Cam Ward, who's the quarterback for Washington State. As you know, they played musical chairs in their position as Cam Ward ended up coming to Washington State along with his coach, who became the offensive coordinator for Washington State. Jake Dicker, who's the coach for Washington State, told Delora he wasn't going to start this season, and Delora was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. So he made sure he went to a Pac-12 team because he said he wanted to play Washington State again while he was in college, and this is his opportunity to shine. He played really well against UCLA last week. They had no answer for him. Delora's big time. He's like Mahomes Jr. Like if Mahomes was only 6 feet tall. He's very small, so he doesn't have the height and the brawn that Mahomes has. Mahomes is a stocky guy. Delores kind of skinny, but he does play a lot like Mahomes. Man, he has a live arm, great ability to extend plays. Washington State is strong, but they've had trouble in the past going to Tucson when Tucson had lesser teams out there. And Jed Fish is getting those guys together. We just cashed the over ticket, over 2.5 on the future that we had on Arizona. So I think that the Wildcats are trying to get in the bowl game. I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game straight up. All week they've been wearing a shirt that said it's personal. And I think that they're saying it's personal because they all love Delora that much and they're going to fight and play really hard for him. So we're going to go with Arizona +4.
All right, putting that one in as well. Next up on the college docket, Battle of LA. USC takes on UCLA. Chip Kelly, Lincoln Riley. Should be a lot of fun. What are you seeing here?
This one right here is going to be a hard game to cap. My mind is saying take UCLA because I know it's going to be a lot of money on SC, and I like the way that UCLA runs the ball. As you know, USC struggles on the defensive side of the ball, and UCLA is coming off an embarrassing loss to Arizona because they were probably looking ahead to this game against USC. So I'd expect the best from Chip Kelly and his crew. They're getting 2.5 points, so that kind of tells you right there. Anytime you're getting that short number, and it's a home conference team, that's usually the right side. So most likely, I'm going to be on UCLA. I was looking at the over and under, but 77 is just ridiculous. That's just too high. So I'm going to play UCLA and buy up a 0.5 point and take UCLA +3.
UCLA +3 sounds like a plan. NBA time.
Yep.
Bucks take on the Sixers in the very first game. I've actually run them. I just have to input them. Let me do that right now. You break down. This is a tough game for me. These are two tough teams. Joel Embiid looked pretty bad the first 2 weeks of the season. Then he blew up this week. Now he's playing like an MVP again. Giannis is playing great, but he doesn't have a supporting cast. And, of course, it's just sad. But you can't really handicap the NBA without looking at these injury reports. Let me pull this one up. Chris Middleton out. Drew Holiday questionable. Grayson Allen probable. Tybals in. Nah, I guess it's not that crazy. Drew Holiday is the one that I really want to know about. before I get involved. What were your thoughts here?
Looking at that number, my initial thoughts is Sixers. Um, it's strange like that. For some reason, Embiid plays better without Harden, and I think it's because Harden, with being a veteran, takes a lot of pride in them winning every game. As you know, Harden was the winningest player in his years at Houston. During that span there, no one won more games than him during that time as a player. So he takes a lot of pride in winning these regular season games. He doesn't always handle the pressure well of the playoffs, but he's really one of the best regular season players we've seen. And I think he's on Embiid's row a lot lately during these games, and it puts a little added pressure on Joel. And also, we know that Harden, even though he's a great passer, he doesn't really play well with others, if that makes sense, you know. So um, I think we're getting the best in Embiid just because now Harden's not there, where he's not trying to figure out how to divide the time. Because as you know, Harden likes to do his step back and his one-on-one and pound the ball, because those are his moves, and they're some of the best moves that the NBA has seen. But it doesn't involve anyone. It's just him going against the whole team. Kind of him and Luka do the same thing. You know, it's like when they ISO, it's like everybody's just standing around, and that way no one gets involved. So they're playing a little better team ball because they're better going inside out with dumping it down to Embiid and letting them kick it out to the shooters and things like that. So I like the Sixers tonight. I'm not going to bet it, but I'd lean Sixers.
All right. I just put my numbers in. I have a small edge on Milwaukee, but I don't trust them because most of those numbers are with Holiday in.
Right.
Holidays in, I guess I consider it the biggest edge. I actually, when I saw it, I have an edge to the over there. So
Okay.
Friday night overs, never a bad thing. Here's a fun one. The Celtics are -2 at New Orleans, taking on the Pelicans. Let me check the news there because, like I said, even though it's only November, with this injury report's worse than the NFL. So Brogdon's in, Marcus Smart is questionable, and of course Zion Williamson is questionable. Zion was questionable last game and did not play. So, it's really tough. I'd say it's 50-50 whether or not he plays. What are you looking for here? I hate these NBA games. Sometimes you can't cap them until like right before the game starts as far as doing like a good breakdown.
Anything you can't cap before the game. That's the disadvantage we have. Will we tell you guys who to take early in the morning? We don't have all the information. Kind of like the Titans game yesterday. It's no way I would have took Green Bay if the defenders that ended up playing for Titans, if I knew they were playing. All these guys were supposed to be been out, and last second they end up playing. So that's
And
especially
even for me,
difficult.
like I'm doing my projections right now, but I already know that they're also flawed because like my Miami projections have so many games with Bam Adebayo in, right? So it's
Yeah,
telling me to take Miami, but I've also watched that team without Bam and they're not in.
yeah.
So and we know how much Marcus Smart means to that defense. To me, and now they've gotten better, but for a while, to me, he was like the Draymond of their team. If he
Is he
plays,
out?
it's questionable.
He's questionable every night. It seems like.
They all are. I don't even know what's going on with that.
Yeah, and I don't like that. And it seems like all of those things are to affect us as bettors. You know what I mean? Kind of where you don't really know what's going on. You don't know which way to lean. What I do know is this. I know that the Celtics have now won how many games in a row? Uh, what's their winning streak now?
I don't
One,
know. It's
two, three,
ridiculous.
four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've won 10 straight games. They're going to be going to a New Orleans team who is a really good home team. But if they don't have Zion, that has to mean something, right? You know, so um, everyone's saying that this game is leaning toward the under. That these teams, especially with Zion out, that it's a likely chance that it goes under. I'm not a totals player myself, so if I had to take a side, I gotta roll with the Celtics. The Celtics won the last two matchups between the two teams, but New Orleans won the two previous, so it's pretty toss up. But if Zion is out for me, that's the deal killer, and I'd have to go with the Celtics and Tatum and Brown.
Yeah, I'm running it right now. It wants me to take the Pelicans, but just from watching the games, I think the Celtics are going to be able to shut them down. The Celtics defense has been so good right now, but
Yeah, they're
of
playing
course,
ball.
on some of these NBA games, it's just wait and see, wait for the news. Some NFL real quick. Some games that I had my eyes on. Philadelphia coming off that loss, heading to Indy to take on the Colts at +7. Seems like a good spot for Philadelphia to bounce back, but they have so many injuries. I hate saying this too, but wait for the news. If Goddard and A.J. Brown on 100%, do you think the Colts can cover here? What are your thoughts on the Eagles coming off that loss?
Be very careful in this game if I'm an Eagles backer. Um, I like the Colts in this game, actually. I just feel like I know that the Eagles are a good team, but I think that now they're going to start coming back to earth. And we've seen from the last game what's their weakness. They can't stop the run. And what are they going to do with the coach with Jeff Saturday now as the coach and with Jonathan Taylor? They're going to run the ball at them. And they're really Eagles are really missing their rookie from Georgia, Jordan Davis, who was becoming a star early in the league. They're really missing him, and I think that the Colts can keep this game close.
All right. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears, who are +3 in Atlanta, taking on the Falcons. Total here is 49, and I know these defenses aren't very good, but I expect to see a lot of running. I was thinking of going under here and taking the Bears and the points. What are your thoughts on that?
I like the Falcons on this game. That number tells you to take the Falcons. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that Justin Fields will run all over the field on those guys. He's going to put up points. What's the total on that game? Inside on the
49.
carpet?
49.
Yeah, I like the over. I like the over more than the side. But if I was going to take a side, I like Atlanta. But for sure, over 49.
Okay, see, I was thinking under just because I think the clock was going to be running totally, but I haven't got involved in any of these NFL games yet. Um, how are the Vikings catching points at home? Here's my idea, right? So many of these bettors now are not the people that are making models, right? They just keep throwing in these numbers like, oh well, they had more first downs, they had more yards. It's only because of turnovers. Well,
Right,
turnovers matter, right?
right.
And good teams, confident teams, turn the ball over when it's matters. So you can take all your yards per play, your DVOA, all you want. When it comes down to it, even if the Vikings fall behind, they have the best weapon in the NFL, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
So I can't believe that I'm getting plus money on the Vikings money line here. I want to take the Vikings. Feels like they're the most popular dog, though, right? Because I love the NFL. I love these podcasts. I've listened to them all week. Everybody seems to be on the Vikings. I don't know. I want to take Minnesota, but I want to talk to you first.
I mean, Minnesota's at home for
Yeah,
one.
well, they're
As
way
you
better. They're way better at home.
Yeah, they're way better at home. They're in the dome, and they have, as you know, the one of the best players, my personal NFL MVP right now, and Justin Jefferson, um, Cook. I don't I like you said, I don't understand even why they're considered to be dogs in this game, especially to the Cowboys. I'm
Yeah.
going to be on the Vikings. No way I'm taking the Cowboys. I know they came off a heartbreaking loss, and maybe they think that Dak is going to bounce back. What's the total on this game? Probably 51, 52,
48.
48. Okay, I like the over then on this one as well. In their
Okay.
inside, um, Dallas will be looking to bounce back. You can't put up points against Minnesota as we've seen in the past, but Minnesota is going to keep fighting and keep trying to score at home. I see this game being 28-24. So, yeah, give me the over on this game. I'm going over 48 for sure on Cowboys and Vikings.
All right. The last one in the afternoon before we do the Sunday night game, I do like the Steelers +4
Yeah.
against the Bengals, and this is hard for me because I love Joey Burrow, right?
Yeah.
But I think that T.J. Watt he's like adding Patrick Mahomes to the offense. That's what T.J. Watt is to the Steelers defense. I expect T.J. Watt to have a big game. The Steelers defense should look good. They're a home dog once again against a team that Tomlin knows well. I'm going to take the better coach and the best defensive player on the field. I like the Steelers plus the points here. What do you think?
Only problem, the Bengals have a history of blowing them out, but they do not have the guy that makes things go over there. And we know them without Chase is everything. Jamar Chase and Joey Burrow really play well together. Joe Mixon, if they run Joe Mixon, then I could see this game maybe getting out of hand. But you got the Steelers at home. Kenny Pickett showed so much fight, and he has a lot more speed than I thought. He can really scramble. He's seeing that when his opportunities to tuck on man coverage, he's taking advantage of it. And when the defenses turn their heads, he's running the ball, man. And he's going to be a good player, I think. There, Kenny Pickett might was the right pick there. At first, I was thinking they should have took Malik Willis, but Kenny Pickett looks like a steal, and he looks like he belongs there. He's a local kid too. So the team plays really hard for him. And as you said, anytime White is around, you have to look at the Steelers as a different team. He's that impressive. He's that important to what they do defensively. He's that much of a disruptor. So I'd be with you on that. I'd definitely be on the Steelers +4.
Sunday Night Football, another fishy line. +5 for the Chargers at home against the Chiefs. We know the Chiefs struggle against the spread, and we saw, how tough these games are to cover, right? I mean, a lot of this, I don't want to say it, but it feels like just playing some blackjack or rolling some dice, right? It's the 49ers against the Chargers that last game. The running back, I can't remember which one it was, slips on the goal line at 3rd and goal. They would cover if he didn't slip. They had actually blocked it correctly. He just slipped. So they kicked the field goal. They won by 6. Shanahan's not worried. They won the game. But for bettors, that was a huge play. Now +5. It's like I could feel the underdog prime time coming through again. But my numbers are going to tell me to take Kansas City. What do you do? What do you like here?
I got to go with the little twerp, man. He's had a good showing against Kansas City. He's been able to cover against them. And it seems like every time the Chargers and Chiefs play, it comes right down to the end. The Chargers are better than people take them for, man. They have a lot of talent over there. It's just all about the coaching. He probably be out of there this year, and next year they'll be a 1 seed when they get Sean Payton because they have the talent, man. Their roster is much more talented than Kansas City, whether people realize that or not. Will Palmer be playing? Their receiver Josh Palmer will be there because if he has to be there with Mike Williams out, and I don't know what's going on with Keenan Allen. He's doing the Mike Thomas now, where he's just he never plays anymore. I don't know if he's dealing with something that serious or if he got some stuff going on with the coach and with the front office. But we haven't seen Keenan Allen. He dressed out last week, and what did he play? Like 1 snap or something, and didn't play anymore. So so I don't know what's going on with him. But if Palmer plays, he's big. He's good enough to be that number 1. They work underneath with Andre Carter. Justin Herbert is a good quarterback, man. And if they give him time, he'll find guys. So I think with him, Austin Eckler, and that offense, with the defensive players that they have, they'll be able to keep it within the number. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs win, but I definitely would look for the Chargers to cover. But it's another game where it's probably going over, man. I'm sure that one's pretty high. Was it 51 or something?
Let me pull up the total. 53.
Wow. Ooh, now that's
highest
really
total
high.
on the board. That's the highest total on the board.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that. I don't like the highest total on the board.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. Let's jump into the ball and parlay. We'll start with you. What do you have for our ball and parlay here?
Parlay, man. We're gonna go to Harrisonburg, Virginia, man. James Madison. They for many years were very dominant at the FCS level, and they've adapted really well to being an FBS team now. They have a quarterback that transferred from Colorado State, Todd Centeio. Todd Centeio is a baller, strong, he's fast, he makes a lot of plays out of the pocket, and he can beat you with his arm and his legs. The offense is really sound for those guys, but the best unit on that team is their defense. On that side of the ball, they're really dominant. JMU is top 25 in every defensive category. And the Dukes, they're hosting a Georgia State team that lost to my sister's alma mater last week, lowly University of Louisiana Monroe. They were able to beat them by straight up after being 13-point dogs. And the Panthers' main running back is hurt. Their top guys out. They struggle already scoring, but they struggle keeping people out the end zone. They're allowing 31 points a game. This year they're playing outdoors, but for the whole entirety of the program they played in the Georgia Dome before that. So they're really warm weather team, and now they're traveling to these really cold conditions. You got one of the better home field advantages there in James Madison. So I expect James Madison to simply outclass Georgia State. So I'm going to lay the -9. It was 8.5. It went up to 9. I called it 8.5, but I think anything less than double digits is good in this game because I see a double-digit victory. So we're going with James Madison -9.
All right, and we talked about it earlier, but I do like the Vikings after just conferring with you a bit because that's where my projections had this game. And like I said, I think because I don't use as much of the proprietary stats, I'm not as big on yards per play. I like points when
Yeah.
I'm doing my stats, right? I like actual results, and I know it's a big game. Coming off a big win, I would normally say, hey, this could be a letdown spot coming off the most exciting game of the year. But this is the Dallas Cowboys. You're in a primetime slot here. I like the Vikings to get it done. So we're going to go ahead and take the Vikings money line, and we'll parlay that with James Madison.
Yep. And then also I have a bonus for you guys tonight, late night college basketball. So by the time this gets up, you'll definitely have time to bet it. Take DePaul -2.5 at Santa Clara. Santa Clara is a decent team, man, but they will not be able to keep up with the horses that DePaul has. DePaul is a beast out the Big East. They play with a lot of tempo. They have a lot of great shooters. They just dominated on the road at Minnesota. Now they're in a tournament facing a Santa Clara team that I don't think will be able to keep up with them talent-wise. So take DePaul -2.5.
All right, there you have it. There's a bonus for you, DePaul -2.5. All right, we'll be back early Monday morning recapping all these games and hopefully counting some money from a successful weekend.
Yeah, man, and we're gonna get this screen correct, guys. We start
Yeah,
by today.
you got me all close up. You can see the pores on my face. You say, oh,
Right. Yeah. You can see my nose hairs, but guys, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. We're gonna have another successful week, man. That's already booked and locked in. No matter other results from yesterday, we've been rolling all week, and we're gonna continue this, man. Have a real prosperous weekend. Best of luck to you all. Follow my guy Spread Astaire. Follow me at 5 Star Vegas. Fill out the 5. See you guys on Monday.